Okay, so this is our last lecture. No big deal. No, well, no one's wearing their party clothes, so I guess we're not gonna have a party. So we have to get to work then, right? Um, well, basically the purpose of this meeting is to answer any of your questions about the final project and the final exam. And that's where I'm going to start. Basically going over what you can expect from those. So, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, screen two. Okay, can you all see the Canvas modules?
Yes.
Yes. Right, so we just have module 19, which is our final project module. I'll go over that. And then the final exam, the culmination. So this is it. It's very similar to very similar to the midterm. And I'll review that. I'll review the study guide and talk about. I may even expose a few of the questions. So, all right. So the final project. Please go through this. The gist of the final project, it's very activity based. The whole idea is that you're going to utilize everything that you've learned essentially to build this Oracle Flix or whatever it's called, kind of scenario. And it's basically creating tables, filling the tables with data, creating primary keys and indexes and sequences, etc. So if you click on the little link in, I actually did create a video. If you're probably tired of seeing me, but I created this a while ago, and it's just an overview. I think it's quite long, so if you have enough time, wait a minute. I created this last week, so this is just the video from last week, or the recording, excuse me, from last week. But I do talk about the project in length. So you have several documents which you can use, and it's basically a collection. This is kind of a high-level collection of all the queries that I need you to run in the developer and basically screenshot your results. So the requirements for the final project, actually I'm doing this backwards. Let me go to the actual assignment itself. So the final project will consist of creating tables, adding constraints, creating views, creating sequences, adding data to the table, hence your insert into, creating indexes, creating synonyms, and then testing. And all the testing is you just need to run a select statement, or you can run an update, or any one of the DML queries are fine for testing. I leave that up to you. I actually can just let you know, I will go into your database instance and double check to make sure you've actually done the work. So, and yes, it's just 40 points and it's just a lot of activity. So, and the reason why, as I said before, the reason why we do this is just it's kind of a culmination. If you're a database administrator, given a certain scenario, and this is I guess it's about as real life as you can get. You all know that for the most part, any type of database is well below some type of application sitting on top of web application or web app or whatever, and basically running underneath is the database. So what I'm giving you is kind of an introduction to that. Usually a database administrator has to go in and create the tables and all that. So that's what you're performing. And so that's the purpose of these other documents. So that's essentially what you need to do. And I had one student completed already. I was going to ask her if she was on here, how long did it take her, but she's not here. So when you go back to these documents, essentially this one, the Oral Flix SQL final project, this actually has, for the most part, all the queries you need to run. But I would just make a note, you can download this document or whatever, and just formulate all these queries and run them in the developer. Of course, one of the requirements, and I said this last week, as far as the data, you do have to add yourself as a customer. Add yourself to the customer table, at least your last name, first name. You don't have to use your real phone, because I don't want to stalk you or anything, or your address, but you do have to add yourself. I am going to check to see if your first and last name are in that customers table. So once again, it's just an activity of running these queries successfully. Most of them, and you can copy paste, but you do. I will warn you, a couple of them you do have to make some adjustments or modifications. Just be aware of that. But I need to see all of those particular activities to satisfy the tables, the constraints, the views, the sequences, adding data, indexes, synonyms, and then some type of tests. So are there any questions around the final project, the online media rentals? So now it's time to ask your questions on the project. So you can unmute, and hopefully you've started already, because the due date is Friday. Friday is our last day. The due date is Friday at midnight. And you probably want to tackle that final exam first. Okay, Vera, go ahead.
I was just curious. So when I had started building this out, I was creating constraint names for every not null. Is that not necessary? I
That's
was looking when, go ahead.
good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say when you were showing the queries just now, it looks like that was not the case. So
Yeah, that is not the case. Unless you want to
okay.
continue your status as an overachiever and create all those constraints, that's up to you. But that is not the case. I mean,
Okay.
in a real database scenario, you probably don't want to set everything not null, because that would, well, first it would drive you crazy as far as a database administrator. And then you may have an instance with an application where it's not writing the information correctly, and then you're going back and adjusting. So there's certain fields, obviously columns, that you have to have. And so that's another part that's actually a pretty good question. That's another part of the exercise, you making that determination or decision. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay,
Perfect. Thank you.
welcome. Any other questions about the final project?
Uh, Regarding screenshots, like already queries were given, right? Like creating tables and all.
Mhm.
After running those queries, mm, screenshots, but what screenshots, like describing table, those screenshots
All right.
needs to be given, or how?
Okay, so that's a good question. All that you need to do, and I'm going to show you in developer, I don't need you to take screenshots of every query, except for the ones that you really need to demonstrate that you ran them. But when you create the tables, just take a screenshot of within the connections here, expand your ORCL, if mine ever expands, expand your tables, come on, and then take a screenshot of those new tables. Now it may or may not, because they're named different. Now you can be creative and name them in a way that they all show together, like your first name or something like that. But so the tables, I would just take a screenshot of the tables. But if you're adding data, I'm not so concerned about. Let's bring up the queries again.
Can I share my screen and show you how I was making?
Oh, that's a better idea. Oh, give me a second, and I will
Okay.
allow you to do that. All right, and everyone else is just dying to see, all right, let me make sure you can share. Hold on. All right, go ahead,
Yeah.
share away.
This is how, like, after creating tables, are you able to see my screen? Like,
Yes.
okay, after running those creating tables queries, I ran describe
Uh-huh.
uh, each table. Then I took a screenshot like this.
Right.
Uh,
Perfect.
then I ran queries given like sequence created and all. After
Right.
running all those queries,
Yep.
this is the screenshot I have taken. While after adding data to the tables, this is how I have taken.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, then uh, this like a creating index,
Right.
uh, then how to check that index
Right.
from then synonym. After creating synonym while executing select statement, like a select star from TU. Let me share my SQL develop. I am not getting data into that. I don't know why. It's
Well, remember,
empty.
a synonym is just another name for an object, right? So,
Whatever query that was given for creating view, this is the
right.
query I ran, but I am not seeing the data in that.
So what's the view?
Title unveil. This is the view. This is the view created as per the document.
Right.
And after running that, I'm not seeing data.
So what's your primary table from this view?
Uh, moves
Movies?
from
Huh. Uh, so create a view, title unavail, as select title, media, are using a join where movies, media, rental history, where in title ID is complete title and media. Okay, can you run that select query and see what you have? Just the select query.
yeah.
No, the select query in your view. Just select,
Select media.
no, from select M title. You see what I mean? Just highlight select M title all the way to return date is null. No, no, scroll back up.
Mm-hmm.
So after the keyword as, highlight that select statement.
Okay.
And then all the way to turn date
Oh,
is null and run that.
okay.
So you have to highlight it. Well, you can just highlight it and run it.
Oh, okay.
It'll run if it's a correct query. So highlight that and run.
Hmm.
See, there's no data there. So it's a problem with your query itself or with your
Uh,
join. So did you pull that right from the Oracle Flix notes?
yeah, the same thing I have copied.
Right, see, you're gonna have to see what the problem is with that join there.
Okay.
You have data in movies and media and all that. You have to check all of those tables. Yeah, there's kind of a problem with that join.
Okay.
And that's why you have no data in the view technically.
Okay. Oh,
And
I just copied the
right,
query given and I ran and okay.
right. So that's one of the queries you really have to kind of dig into.
Uh-huh.
Take a look at it, break it up a little bit, make sure you have data
Okay.
in those particular tables. This is where you do have to do a little bit. I think that's really the only one that you really have to
Movies,
take a look
yes, I
at.
have got movies, data in movies, and
Yeah.
media, yes, I have got.
So what I suggest is read through that view query,
Uh-huh.
figure out where there's a problem with with your where clause. There might be well, there is a problem, but I want you to find it.
Okay.
All right, and it won't take that long, but you do have to break it down and
Oh,
find where there's an issue in those and that where clause.
okay.
Because I would even, so try running the select. Well, you can't really run it that way. And you have data in the return date. Not return date, what's the R table, the rental history. You have data in the rental history.
Yes.
Return date. But you can see right there, there's no return dates in that table that's null. So I just kind of gave you most of the problem.
Where,
You have a requirement that says return date is null.
oh,
So if you take that out, because you have no null in your return dates.
this should be null, this column?
No, well, the way you create it, looks like your default for the return date is sys date, right? When you created the rental history, which is
Mm,
today,
I think
right there, create table rental history. I saw it, you scrolled up. But,
yeah.
so what I'm saying, and I just kind of gave it to you, but
Date, that's it.
that's date. So where did you add the sys date or the return date as today's date? But that's the problem in your view. The view
Okay.
is, because you see that last condition is return date is null. So that's why it's not returning any data. So either I would take that particular part of your where clause out because you don't have any. So go back to your view, go back down to your view
Uh-huh.
and just eliminate and return date as null. Just
Okay.
delete that. And now
Oh,
run the view.
oh, yeah.
And that's why.
Okay.
That's why you were receiving no data. So you can run the whole view now, and you'll have data in there, and you just
Oh,
want to.
okay. Select.
Or you haven't
Mm,
created the view.
oh, yeah, I have created.
No, no, you have to run the whole view query. You just
Oh,
create view.
okay. Again, okay. So if I already created, if I run this, will it be a problem? Already there
No,
is a.
well, go ahead and run it. Let's see what happens.
Okay, it's showing some error.
So it's saying the view already created, right?
Yeah, I need to delete and recreate it maybe.
That's correct.
Okay.
So just drop the view and then run it again, and then you can select from the view.
Okay. Drop view name.
Yeah.
Mm,
So you just helped everyone solve the problem with the
it's
copy
a
and paste,
learning.
because you would be going in circles with that. Yeah.
What's going on? Is it dropped? Drop view, title, and mail. Oh,
All right. Does anyone remember how to? Don't forget your semicolon.
this is how, right? Table or view doesn't exist. Yeah,
Okay, so it's
that's
gone. So,
Yeah, now I need to run this.
Right.
Is it created? Let me. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, that was, yeah, I was gonna let everyone struggle with that. Because everyone was gonna copy and paste and say, there's no data. Well, you do need to read those queries and make sure if you, and especially if you're receiving the view, the structure of the view, but no data, that's usually something in that where clause that's causing an issue. So,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah, thank you so much. I think for these are the screenshots I need to provide you, right?
that's correct.
Okay, yeah.
Just
Thank
add
you.
those to a document and
I'm looking for
that is correct.
exercise. Yeah. So this, and for all this, yeah.
Yeah,
These are the like sequences. While creating table itself, all these were included. So in the, if I take screenshot a describe table, all these will be covered. That screenshot is
yeah.
enough, right? For
You
these
take,
two.
and you don't even have to do a describe. Remember how you can show the information on the table just by clicking in the object explorer over there?
This,
So
right?
if you expand that, expand the ORCL,
Mm-hmm.
expand the tables, go
Tables.
back up. Tables, see the tables, expand
Oh,
that.
yeah. Here, so many tables.
So all you
So
need to, so just double click on your table in the, see which ones, customers, double click on your customers table.
okay.
There, you can take a screenshot of that.
Oh, so each and every table I have created, I have to take screenshot of
Or,
this.
or
Okay.
you can do the describe, either or, because this shows everything as well.
Oh, either this or that. Already I have taken screenshot of describe. That's
Yes,
enough, right?
yeah, that's fine. That is,
Oh,
either way is fine.
okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. I'm done. Can I stop?
Yes, you can stop sharing.
Yeah.
All right, let me make sure I check the attendance. Yeah, I have everyone. All right. Any other questions on the final project?
I'm
Gail?
very thankful to you. You helped me a lot.
No, that's my job. I'm not supposed to leave you out there in the cold too much. Okay, Vera, go ahead.
I was just curious. I know you said with the queries that you provided, we gotta double check them. But generally, is the syntax kind of correct? Like, because I was having a hard time remembering how to connect the foreign key and the primary key across different tables, and so
Oh, do you want me to go over that or am I gonna
I mean
task you to figure it out?
I'll I mean I'll take the help, but you don't have to do that. I can go back through the resources again. I was just curious if it
Yeah,
was generally correct.
the syntax is generally correct. With primary key, foreign key, remember the term references. All right. So whenever you have a foreign key, it has to reference a primary key. So just, and that should get you, going there. So that's, but generally the syntax in these queries are correct, but you do have to check, like, so Hasini said, I mean, basically, if you don't have data, that's another thing that I will check. Then
Hmm.
there's something that you may have to change. And it's okay. I mean, these are not all, the syntax may be correct, but queries are queries. You may forget something or something may not match. And that's a part of the exercise as well. Read through the query, especially with something like a view. I don't know if we remember, but with a view, you should always check the select query to see if the view actually will have data. Always check this, and you can highlight the select and run it before you even create the view. That's a best practice. So, So make sure you do that. Yes, I provide you with mostly error-free. Okay, it's all error-free, but make sure it creates, it matches your expectation. That's the key.
Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate you providing this
Yeah.
as a resource.
Yeah.
Super helpful.
Yep. You are very welcome. All right, any other questions about the project? I would suggest if you haven't started it yet, start today because you will run out of time. And I've given you, it's been 2 weeks, so if if you're procrastinating, it's Monday. It is still Monday, right? So if you're procrastinating, Friday will be here before you know it, and then you'll be scrambling at the 7th hour. It'll be 11:59, and then boom. Although, actually, the class won't just magically close. I mean, if you bleed into Saturday, it's not like that's it. You get a 0. But anyway, so make sure you get started on that. It's just a lot of activities. It's a lot of review. You just saw a couple things you can do. Make sure you drop the view and then recreate it. It's pretty simple. And hopefully you've done some investigating around the developer. There's a lot of things that it gives you some heads up to that I haven't actually covered. All right, so that's the final project. And since no one else is asking questions, everyone's set, right? No issues. Buzz right through it. It'll take you a couple hours or an hour or 10 minutes, and you'll be done.
Dwight, can I have midterm exam question and answers? Just, I think I forgot to get those.
Yeah, I did want to. I'm not allowed to do that. I mean,
Okay.
basically, I'm not allowed to send you the questions and the correct answers for a previous exam. So that's why I didn't send that to you. If you have a specific question, and I know it's hard to review because of the respondents and all that, but I would suggest stick with the study guide, make sure, because unfortunately, as you saw at the midterm, I mean, you can review the material, but it's because you can't really run the developer. It's kind of your best learned guess in answering the questions. There's a lot of weight on it, but don't be concerned if you do poorly, which none of you will, because you probably know more than you think you know. Yeah, it's mostly multiple choice. I think it's all multiple choice. So test taking is test taking. I mean, I hate that we have to put so much weight on it, but we do now because there's too many other ways that you can not be comfortable with what you've learned. And so enough said about that. So yes, I cannot send you I had to check on that because I was putting together, because there's many reasons, because I don't change the midterm and that information once it gets out to the ether. Now I have to go back and change all the questions, and I'm not using a question bank or anything like that. So it is technically the policy not to put out a complete question and correct answer.
If I log into lockdown, can't I see like what questions I made correct, what questions I went wrong?
No. Now, if you ask me let's see.
My concern is if some of those will come to a final,
Okay.
then again I'll be making mistake. That's
Well,
my concern.
I will answer that part of the question. Remember that the midterm covered the first 9 sections. The final covers the section 10 through 16. So you will not see any of the questions that were on the midterm.
Oh, okay, then fine.
So it starts with section more module 10 and goes through 16 or 17. And we're going to cover that here. All right. So that's a good segue. All right. So here we go. Make sure you reference this study guide because I did change all the, so it's from section or module 9 through module 16. You will not see any questions from modules 1 through 8. And these are the particular topics. Select statements with the where and order by, comparison operators, that's equal, greater than, equal to. Joins, please study your joins. The group functions, the group by, and all those aggregate functions. There's a couple in there that may be a little confusing. The set operators, union, all, intersect, and minus, please review that. DML, remember DML is actually modifying the data, so that's the insert, update, delete. Multiple inserts and merge statements. And the bold ones are really the ones that are covered more than the others. DDL, that's basically impacting your objects, primarily your tables or views or sequences, etc. Know the difference between drop table and truncate table, that one. So we'll study that. And then constraints, which is another reason why I go through that project, know what the primary key, the foreign key, the check, the unique, and not null. Those 5 constraints you really need to know. Those are important. There's other type of constraints, but those 5 are more important than others. Creating and managing tables and other objects such as views, sequences. You just had a very good example about views. Now, you have to encapsulate all of that, what we just did today, and answer a question about essentially, why did Sosacini did not see data? And then basically there was a not null, things like that you really need to recognize. And then views, what are views? What tables? That was a pretty complex view in the project, but how do you create a view and why do you create a view? And what are their options? The read-only option, why do you do that? Or the check option. And then indexes and synonyms, pretty straightforward, and then finally sequences. And that's what you'll see on the final, those particular topics. And once again, the ones in bold are the more important, including the data dictionary, know why you need the data dictionary, how to access the data dictionary, etc. Schema and full object name, basically take the high level. What is a schema? Basically, that's your database. Like in our SQL Developer instance, our schema is ORCL. It's Oracle. It's the Oracle schema. But just know the difference between those objects and what essentially how you, and it's in, for the most part, it's in the reading and mostly in the lectures. So if you I would suggest taking the study guide, downloading it, and then just adding your information, because you can keep this and then find some way to print it. I don't care how many pages. It says 1 page, but don't worry about that. Just add your study information, print it out, and keep it next to your computer. That will help you answer those fuzzy questions, and there will be a few of them. And speaking of that, so yes, make sure you download the study guide. The final will open tomorrow. Basically, it opens at 12 a.m. So all tomorrow, Tuesday, all the way through Friday. Criteria. So once you start it, you can't close it and come back to it. Once you start it, you have to complete it. You have 2 hours. Basically, there's a timer. If you go over the 2 hours, obviously it just closes. And once the respondents lockdown browser is closed, that's the end of the final. And you've all experienced that with the midterm, so it's very much the same. Once again, it opens at 6, or excuse me, it opens tomorrow. Basically, if you want to get up at 12:01 and start it to get it out of the way, more power to you. But I would get some sleep first. Start it, later in the day. I would suggest not waiting until Friday. Obviously, I would probably want you to finish the final project first, and then, and you only get 1 chance. There's no multiple attempts, so once you open it, that's it. It should show you the correct answers immediately. It'll show you one question at a time, and basically, I will review, as I did with the midterm, before I give you your final grade. If there's a highly missed question, there was one last semester that I changed. So if I didn't change it well enough, then it'll show me. As a matter of fact, I had 25 students and they all no, all but one missed that question. So that's a telltale on an exam question. I actually redid or reformatted or modified the final so that it's less confusing. I don't know if that makes sense, but let's preview it. Let's take a look at it a little bit here. All right, so it's 50 questions. Once again, 2 points each. It's 100 points. The thing it is, you know, that sometimes the final exam is like a third of your grade. This is just 100 points. Basically, it's 100 points is probably 8 or 9% of your grade. So if you absolutely bomb it, which you won't, it's not gonna, especially those of you that have, I don't know, maybe I should start subtracting points. Those of you with over 100%, that's just not fair to everyone else. But anyway, but it's not a big deal. I don't like to put a lot of weight on tests anyway, although with the advent of AI and all that, testing is becoming more important. So here, let's go over a few of the questions. I'm just going to randomly scroll here. And I don't know what question it is, but which set operator does not remove duplicate rows from the output? You know what set operators are? Union, union all. Which one does not remove? Without showing you the answer. So it's union, union all, intersect. Which one does not remove duplicates? Come on. Union, union all, intersect. What's the other one? Minus. Union, union all, intersect, or minus. Which one of those do not remove duplicates? No one's brave enough. Come on, someone has to type it in the chat. Okay. All right. Vera says union all. She is correct. Union all. It'll just add everything in your set operator, set operations. All right. And let's look at, all right. The select query returns the following data. So select employee ID, hire date, salary, manager ID from employees where employee ID is greater than 201. All right, assuming that the following tables exist, how many insertions will be made when you execute the following unconditional insert all query? And this is something that we cover. So how many, the question is, how many insertions? So insert all into salary history, values, employee ID, hire date, salary, into manager, employee ID, manager ID, salary, select employee. So how many insertions, if this is your result from this query, how many insertions with these? And the choices are 3, 6, 1, or cannot be done. Oh, I should close that. All right, so is it 3, 6, 1, or that insertion cannot be done? And I'll show you the query again. This is probably one of the more difficult questions. How many insertions with this? And we know that all these tables do exist.
Three.
3. Who yelled out 3? It's actually 6. Why is it 6? You have 3 here and 3 here. We all see that?
Mhm.
Because we have 3 from that select, right? And that's what we're using here. But we're inserting 3 here and 3 there. So that's going to be 6. Make sense? That's a an unconditional insert all. We swiftly buzzed through that, but yeah, the correct answer is 6. So, all right. One more. I know, let's do a later one because you get very tired and you get a free question at the end. It just says thank you. All right, so which of the following queries produce this result? So take a look at this result. It looks like some type of, and you probably don't remember these queries. We have job ID and average salary and manager ID. And you get some totals here. Yeah. All right, so your choices are I can't show you the right one. Hold on. I have to mask it a little bit. I'll do this. Is it number 1? You read that? Number 2. Number 4. And I'm showing you the results. This is fun.
Your screensavers are very nice.
Oh, they're kind of annoying. All right. Okay. No, I don't want to show you the attendance. That's a big challenge. Let's see. No, not that. Where's the final? I can do this. What do I do with that? Pictures on the way, so. Here's the result table. Which one of these queries produces that result?
I think it's for sure either the second or the fourth one because we have the total at the end. So it has to be roll up for sure.
Has to be roll up. So are you sure? Is it roll up or cube? You remember those? Do you remember them?
I thought it was roll up that gives you the like the total of everything of the averages.
So which one is it? Two or four? We eliminate it. So let me mask the answer again. So you're on the right track. So we say it's not cube. So two or four. Manager ID, job ID, average salary.
Looks like both are same.
No, they're not always, they're not the same. No. Look closer.
Pretty sure it's number 2.
Okay, job ID is not there. Oh, I think 4.
Four? Are you sure? We have some subtotals here and our average. How many say 2? Only Sopiko is brave enough to vote. How many say 4? All right. I'm going to actually run this in the developer.
Yeah, for such queries, SQL developer is required.
That was 4. And why did 4 not work? You all should know that. So it's not 4. And I will explain why in a second. There you go. Now remember, it's 2, so that's the right answer. Remember with aggregate functions like average, if you have a group by, even if it's a roll up, you have to account for all the columns, right? You have to account for all the columns that are not aggregate functions. So the other one gave you an error, and the error says basically, if you ran this, it says, basically it tells you not a group by expression is because it's missing, you're missing a column. So that's the difference. So that one, mostly everyone, you get to the last question, and you're like, I don't know, you just guess. You don't remember the whole rules and all that. So yes, it was number 2 for that one. And I think that is the last question. All right. So you see, it's not, you do have to remember a few things with the final. Let's see, Let's see. All right. But okay, how about one more? Let's see. Okay, here's one. How many times will the subquery in this statement execute? Oh, wait, someone has, here, do you have a question? The final doesn't cover the midterm, so the midterm isn't the best resource. Anyway, oh, yeah, true. We can appreciate a multiple choice quiz. That's all it is, multiple choice. So how many times does the subquery run here in this query? We all see that?
Once.
Come on. That's big enough. So select first name, concatenate last name, name, alias, department ID from employees where salary is greater than or equal to. So how many times will that subquery run? Once, right? Once. For each role processed by the parent statement. So, oh, that's the key. Yes, it's actually, it'll execute once for each row. So if you thought it's just once, yeah, and there's some clarification here. Once each time, so you may have chose once each time the statement is executed. No, it's once for each row process. It's a multi-row subquery. Select first name, last name, department ID from employees. Outer, yeah, that outer is kind of hidden. And what does that mean? Y'all remember that? Let's see, did I just make that up or is this actually going to run? This is one that oh, I have to review this one. This is giving me. Oh, outer is your alias for employees. Last name, permanent ID. From employees. That's just in this. All right, what's wrong with this query? Valid character. I am puzzled. All right, you smart people, what's wrong with this query? I know this runs fine. I just added a where clause. Where salary is equal to. Greater than or equal to. Yes.
Mm. There's no outer to reference this department ID equals department ID. What is that even? What's that doing?
What am I doing?
Because won't that always be true?
Yes. Why did I have an alias there anyway? Oh,
I'm
because
not
we have
sure.
employees here. All right, let's do this. Just make it, that's your outer query. There we go.
Nice. Yay.
All right, there you go. So I have to change one. So I don't know why I use outer for outer query, inner for inner query. So yeah, it should be only 8. So there you go. I'm going to change this. So although the correct answer is 1 for each role processed by the parent. But the query was wrong, so that is the correct answer. I think I caught that. All right, that was 2. All right, let's do one more. Evaluate this, create table query, create table customers, customer ID, customer name, address, city, region, postal code, constraint, customer ID, table level, right? Unique customer ID, constraint customer name, not null. So why does this query fail when executed? Why? What's wrong with that? Yeah, there's one specific thing wrong with this.
Oh, well, actually, maybe I thought it was something else. I was thinking because the unique and not null, that would be like redundant, but I guess it's on different
Yep, it is
columns.
unique.
So,
It has to be unique, not null as it can't be null.
mhm. Okay.
So let's see. What is that saying?
Invalid identifier.
So it's not null. Can you do a not null at table level constraint? Is that what this is?
No, it has to be on the column level.
It has to be a column level. Even though you list the column. All right, let's see if that's correct. There you go. Not null constraint cannot be at the table level. It has to be column level. All right. You probably didn't remember that, did you?
So is that while creating table constraint is mentioned to the column only, right?
Right. If you're using not null, and you just add not null here, you can even give it a, so remember this is just a constraint name, but you would do that at the column level up here.
Okay. If we
Right.
give by the side of column, then it is considered as at column level.
That is correct.
Okay.
If it's at the bottom of all the columns, then it's a table level. But not null is one of the unique ones, not one of the odd ones. You can't do that at the table. It's not allowed at the table level. That's one of those rules. Even though you're listing the column name, it still has to be a column level constraint. All right, one more and then that's it. All right. That was too easy. So what is wrong with this query here? Last one, it's the next to last one. What's wrong with that query? Well, it's kind of the same idea. Select employee ID last name from employees where salary is equal to select min salary from employees group by department ID. What's wrong with that query?
feel like the group by shouldn't be within the where statement or the subquery rather.
And you have a group by in a subquery. One of those rules that you have to remember. Yes, it's a single row, but this returns more than one row,
Mm,
which is the grouping by department ID is going to turn it into a multi-row. So
yeah.
yes, that's the correct way to read that, but that's the reason. So, yep. All right. I think that's, how many questions was that? Must have been at least half. Okay, not half, but a few more. So that's the final. It's you may have to, put your memory caps on or take good notes. Like this one, which the query contains an error. I know these are kind of hard because you can't do what I'm doing now and throw them in the developer, but you have to do kind of a process of elimination with these. And these are pretty, yeah, this one, you'd probably say, no, that looks right to me, right? And this one still looks pretty good. And this one, nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, you would know that's a problem, right? Right off the bat. What's wrong with that query?
Doesn't contain a table.
No, star was not given.
No, it has a column name and a where clause, but what's missing?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Where clause is optional, but what's missing?
Table.
No. Employee
Oh.
number. Yeah,
No,
where would you put the table and what goes with the table?
from table.
Yeah,
Select employee
you're
table.
missing a from clause. That's required. Select and from, always. Select from. That one, just essentially the where is optional. That's your filter. Things like that, yes, so please make sure you read the questions carefully. You do have 2 hours, so you have time to read through them. Take your time. That's probably my best recommendation. It's a final and you're probably gonna have some test anxiety, but that's all right. Just take your time, get through it. Don't wait until the last minute. Remember, you have until Friday at midnight or Saturday at 10. No, Friday at midnight. And it should be 50 questions. Well, you got the most difficult one, that one, well, you have it now anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, that last question. I know by the time you get to the last question, you just want it to be over. Sometimes you don't even want to answer that question, but. All right, any final questions before we end this adventure? I do want to thank you all. Again, it's been a great class. I've learned a lot from my modifications that the next iteration in the fall, it'll even be, well, if you want to take it again, like Kiva, where do you go? If you're like, oh, I'm going to go through that again. And, yeah.
Probably not a third time.
Okay, not a third time. All right, Kiva. So I do want to thank you all for helping me make the class a better experience. And you all did, I don't think there's anyone in class here that didn't do very well. And hopefully you learned some things. This is so pertinent. SQL is so, what you've learned, you can use in many, many different ways, believe it or not. So, but I really enjoy this class. Maybe we'll switch it back to in person, but everyone seems to like this hybrid model. But so with that, before I let you go, everyone has, if you have a camera. You have to turn it on so I can see your face for a little bit. So not just Vera and Sopico, everyone else, turn your camera on. That way I know you're actually here. And I can say hi. Good to see you all. Thank you for participating, and you're all actually real people. That's good. And we can see how we all look. No one's in their pajamas yet, are they? No, it's too late. It's too early for bed. All right. Well, it's been a wonderful experience, and I don't know if you'll see me in another class. Sometimes I'm on campus. How many of you go to campus, CGCC? Any of you have classes on campus? You stay away from it, right? It's actually a very nice campus. So, all right. So I will have your grades posted. I like to get it done pretty early. So usually I have it done by Saturday. So you'll see your grades. I'm not a procrastinator. I like to get things out there so you know how bad you know how well you did. Well, no one does bad. So everyone does great. So thank you all. I appreciate it. It's been a very, very good experience. Best class ever. So all right. You all take care. And I will hopefully see you in the future. Take care.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.